So what is a remote event? A remote event is a way for the client to communicate with the server or the other way around. Now when would you use a remote event? Well, there's a couple of examples. You would use a remote event if you want to call code on the server from a client script. Or a more specific example would be increasing a leader stat when a player clicks a button. You don't want to increase everyone's leader stat, only the player who clicked the button's leader stat, if that makes sense. So a leader stat must be changed on the server side. So to do this, we'd have to use a local script to detect when the button has been clicked, and then use a remote event to call code in a server script to update that player's leader stat. I know it sounds confusing, but that is the first example we're going to cover. We're going to cover a server to client to server and a server to client. So I've created a script already under server script service, which is a leader stats script. The script creates a stat named coins and it's an integer. Feel free to pause and copy this code. Alternatively, you can get a copy of our leader stats script or a leader stats script from our Discord server, which you can find the link to in the description below. So hopefully you got that all copied, or you have your own leader stats, whatever. Let's close that now. And let's start with this example. So we need to create a button. Under starter GUI, I'm going to add in a screen GUI. And I will add in a text button. I'll rename this to click button. First, we will try changing the coins inside a local script, which is on the client side. By client, I mean it only affects the intended user and not everyone on the server. So let's add in a local script. So first of all, we need to get our player. So I'll just say PLR for short, or player, equals game.players.localPlayer. This just stores the client's player in a variable. Let's also store the buttons, so that will be equal to script.parent, because script.parent is the click button. Now whenever this button's clicked, so we can say button.mouseButton1click::connect function. So whenever the button is left clicked is what mouseButton1click means, we can increase the value. So to do that, we'll say player.leaderstats.coins.value plus equals 1. I'm going to go and test this. I'm going to test it on a local server. So I'm going to under test where it says local server. I'm going to put in 2 players and hit start. Here we go. So we're player 2 at the minute. So player 2, you see we click. We have 10 coins. But if we go to player 1, who's here, it still says we all have 0 coins, which is no good because we want the stat to update for everyone. So why is this happening? Well, this is happening because we're increasing our stat inside of the player's client and not server side. So as we can see, we need to run line 5 here inside of a server script, otherwise the increasing stat will only affect us and no one else. As far as the server is aware, our coins value will still be 0. So let's create a script inside of server script service where we will increase the coin. So I'm going to add in a script. I will just rename this coin increase. Now that we have a server script, we need to call this coin increase code from our local script. To do this, we'll need to use remote events. So inside of replicated storage, I'm going to hit this add and add in something called a remote event. I'm going to rename this a remote event to coin increase remote event. It's quite a long name. We've added this to replicated storage as that is typically the most ideal location for a remote event. You can put them in the workspace though if you'd like. Now inside of our server script, we need to remove this print hello world and write some code. So first thing we want to do is get the replicated storage. So we can say replicated storage equals game::get service replicated storage. Obviously our remote event as well, we need to get that. So coin increase remote event equals replicated storage dot coin increase remote event. Now we want to call the code whenever the remote event is fired from the client. So we're going to use something called OnServerEvent. Now I'll just type it out and you'll see what I mean. So if we say coin increase remote event dot OnServerEvent ::connect function. Now what this means is we've got, say we have some code in here. This code is going to be ran every single time this remote event is fired from the client, because you'll see in a minute when we fire it from the client, it will say FireServer, and the OnServerEvent receives that call, if that makes sense. So we use OnServerEvent in a server script and OnClientEvent in a client script. We're going to cover the client side shortly in the second example. And if a remote event is fired from a client, it must take the player as an argument. So in this case, we need to have a player parameter. So I'm just going to use PLR for short. Whenever we fire from the client, a player is always passed through. And then in here, this is where we would say player.leaderstats.coins.value plus equals 1. Now let's go back to our local script. And now we need to make some changes in here. So first of all, we need to get our replicated storage because we obviously want to call that event. So replicated storage is game, get service, replicated storage. Now to actually fire this remote event, we need to say replicated storage dot coin increase remote event FireServer. Now the OnServerEvent will probably make sense because you'll see we have FireServer and then OnServerEvent. So FireServer, this means we're going to call that any code in this function on the server. So whenever we fire this server as well, you notice we're not passing the player in here. That is because whenever we use FireServer from a client script, the player is automatically passed in for us. So we don't need to put anything in here as long as we have the player as a parameter in the OnServerEvent function. Now let's test this. So again, we're going to go on a local server. So here again, we got player 2, and you'll see now if I click and get 10 coins, and we go to player 1, you'll see player 2 has 10 coins and it's updated on the server. And that is how you use client to server. Something else worth noting is that remote events can take parameters as with any function. So let's add an amount. So in here, under our OnServerEvent in our server script, I'm going to add in an amount as a parameter. And rather than adding 1, we're going to add in the amount. And now, when we call the script, first of all, we need to get an amount. So I'm going to say local amount is, I'm going to say math.random 1 and 5. So this will just give a random number between 1 and 5. And I'm going to pass in amount as an argument when we fire the server. You'll see I'm not doing player amount, I'm just doing amount, because once again, the player is passed in automatically. Now, if we tested this, I'm not going to test it on a server script this time because we know it works. But you'll see it adds a random amount each time I click. Now let's have a look at a server to client example. In this example, we're going to check if our number of coins is greater than 15, and if it is, we'll make a part disappear just for the player with over 15 coins. So I'm just going to make like a door part disappear. So I'm going to create an anchored part named door, so I'm going to home and then part. I can then scale this up and just make it big, like let's just imagine it's a door or something. I'm just going to anchor it so it doesn't fall down, and I'm going to rename this part to door. Now I'm going to create a new remote event, once again in replicated storage, and this one I'm going to call hide door. That's a better name. Inside of our server script, so our coin increase script, so we need to get our hide door remote event. So I'm going to say hide door equals replicated storage dot hide door. And I'm also going to get our door part. So door is workspace.door, just so we've got that saved to a variable. Now when we add our amount, I'm going to say if player.leaderstats.coins.value is greater than 15, then if the player has over 15 coins, then we want to hide the door. So to do that, we'll say hide door : FireClient. Now you may be thinking, why are we bothering to do that? Why can't we just hide it in the server script? That's because if we hide it in the server script, the door is going to hide for everyone. But we only want to hide it for the player with over 15 coins. What are we doing wrong here? Well, client, we actually have to pass the player in. The player's not passed in automatically with the client because the server doesn't know what player we want to run the code on. So we have to specify the player. And I'm also going to pass in the door variable. You could do this manually in the local script, but it's easier to pass it in here. And it also just demonstrates parameter and arguments as well. So now that we've fired our client, you'll see it's very similar to firing the server, just we have to pass the player in as well. Now let's go to our local script. First of all, I want to get our hide door event, and then down here we'll say hide door dot OnClientEvent. So again, similar to the OnServerEvent, connect function, and then these open and close parentheses. And all we need to pass in here is a door. We don't need to have the player as a parameter. because we already get the player in the local script using local player. For the server, we have the player as a parameter, and then we pass in no player. And for the client, we don't have a player parameter, but we pass it in as an argument. Now in here, we can just say door.transparency equals 1 and door.canCollide equals false. And the 1 will just set the transparency of the door to 1 so it can't be seen, and the CanCollide will just make it so the player can walk through the door. So now let's test this on a local server again. Now I know my screen design here is a bit confusing, but as you can see we've got player 1 here, player 2 here. Now if we get player 1 to get 15 coins, or just over 15, you'll see the door disappears for them and they can walk through it. So if you look at our player 2 screen, you can see for them we're walking through the door, but for player 2, if they go over to the door, they cannot walk through it and it's still there, and we can on player 1. And that is a good example for when you would use client to server. Just to sum it up quickly, remote events are very useful. You can call code from the client and run it on the server, or vice versa. And you can do cool things like these 2 examples we've just done. You're going to use remote events a lot for any projects you ever make, really. I recommend you now go and play around with them. Just make some of your own examples. These are just 2 basic ones, but remote events can get a bit more complicated. Make sure you have a play around and get used to them because they are very important. But other than that, I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video, everyone. Goodbye.